Of the United Nations Environment Assembly has ended at the UNEP headquarters in Nairobi, with delegates from 186 countries adopting 11 resolutions, or 3 decisions too, and a ministerial declaration were done. But even as the Assembly pushed forward ambitious commitments on pollution, waste and sustainable solutions, the shadow of unmet promises from recent global climate talks loomed large, raising questions about whether pledges will finally translate into action. Stanley Nyawingita reports.
Curtains came down on the 7th session of the United Nations Environmental Assembly, UNEA 7, held at the UNEP headquarters in Nairobi, with over 6,000 delegates from 186 countries in attendance. After 5 days of trying to come up with strategies on how to advance sustainable solutions for a more resilient planet, member states adopted 11 resolutions, 3 decisions and a ministerial declaration.
I do believe that this UNEA 7 responded to the most critical global environmental challenges, and on this, the 10th anniversary of the Paris Agreement, now it's time for resolutions to support that.
The 7th session of UNEA, the world's highest-level decision-making body for matters related to environment, also hosted its first-ever special dialogue on the role of indigenous communities in environmental governance, an inclusion hailed as long overdue.
So the place I belong to, Northeast India, they pray the forest there. There are no idols, but they pray the forest and they call sacred forest. So the indigenous community are the true heroes who are protecting Mother Nature.
The knowledge from local indigenous people is very important, and it has been incorporated into contemporary or modern knowledge with scientific knowledge, and we are getting best.
And we're expecting that after this meeting, the problems are going to be captured so that they can also be placed in a position where it's required.
Despite the progress, climate funding for loss and damage remains elusive, even after COP30's call for tripling support to developing nations.
Climate finance should support indigenous community to sustain and to protect nature.
One thing that we can do is to have more innovative financing from resources that we have. Africa has a lot of resources, like Kenya has also a lot of resources. And I think this is one of the great opportunities, how they be able to create meaningful opportunities.
Resolutions made at UNEA 7 have centered on, among others, the management of chemicals and waste, sustainable use of artificial intelligence, and on finding sustainable solutions through sport.
And keep discussing and pushing forward these negotiations in order to reach such compromise and consensus. So really I'm delighted, and also I'm proud of the achievements.
We must work to strengthen the science policy interface, scale up financing for adaptation and resilience, and accelerate the transition to sustainable production and consumption systems. And we must do so while ensuring that no state, large or small, feels excluded from the solutions we craft.
In a key leadership shift, Jamaica's Minister for Water, Environment and Climate Change, Matthew Samuda, was elected President of UNEA 8. With the 8th session of the United Nations Environmental Assembly expected to happen in 2027, member states are expected to go back to the drawing board in a bid to advance sustainable solutions for a healthier planet. Stanley Nyawingita, TV 47 at the UNEP headquarters in Nairobi.
Thanks.